They called each other twin, wore matching outfits, and swore they looked identical. The only problem? Miles and Tanner didn't look anything alike, and their bond would teach everyone a lesson about what really matters. Have you ever paused to consider how children perceive the world, unburdened by the prejudices we adults often unknowingly carry? This is a story about that very innocence, seen through the eyes of a spirited young boy named Miles and his mother, Britney Tankersley. Miles, a chatterbox with an endless supply of school stories, came home one afternoon with an unusual level of excitement. He was practically buzzing, talking about twin day at school and his determination to dress exactly like his twin. Britney, accustomed to Miles's lively tales, was immediately intrigued and, frankly, a little confused. Who was this mysterious twin? She couldn't recall any mention of a child with whom Miles shared such a striking resemblance. Mom, we have twin day next week," Miles exclaimed, his words tumbling over each other in his haste. "And I have to dress like my twin, Tanner. We're exactly the same." Britney, kneeling to meet his gaze, smiled gently. "That sounds like fun, sweetie. But who is Tanner? I don't think I've heard you talk about him before." Miles looked at her with utter seriousness, his brow furrowed in concentration. "But Mom, we're twins. We have the same hair." He gestured wildly at his own light brown, slightly unruly hair. "And the same eyes." He pointed to his bright, inquisitive eyes. "We look just alike. It's perfect for twin day." Britney tried to stifle a chuckle. Her son's imagination was certainly vivid. She racked her brain, trying to recall any of Miles's classmates. She'd met many of them at school events, birthday parties, and playdates. There were the Johnson twins, Sarah and Sophie, but they were girls. There was Ethan with his distinctive red hair, and Olivia with her glasses. But no Tanner, no one who remotely resembled Miles. "Honey, are you sure about this?" Britney asked softly, a hint of concern creeping into her voice. "Maybe you're thinking of someone else? Are you sure this Tanner is in your class?" "Yes, Mom. Positive. We sit next to each other in circle time. He always chooses the blue crayon, just like me." Miles insisted, his small voice filled with unwavering conviction. This blue crayon detail, somehow, made it even more perplexing. This wasn't just a passing fancy. It was a deeply held belief. Britney started running through all possibilities. Was Miles making an imaginary friend? Was he perhaps being bullied and invented a twin to cope? She spent the next hour subtly interrogating Miles. She tried to understand if Tanner might be imaginary, or perhaps another child that he only knew by a nickname. She tried calling the parent of one of Miles's closest friends. No one seemed to know who this Tanner was. Finally, feeling a mix of curiosity and a mother's protective instinct, Britney decided to contact Miles's teacher, Mrs. Davis. She crafted a careful email, explaining Miles's insistence on dressing like his twin and her inability to identify this mysterious Tanner. She added a slightly apologetic note, acknowledging that it might sound a little strange. She hit send and waited, checking her inbox frequently. The school day was almost over, and she hoped to get a response before Miles came home, bursting with even more twin details. Finally, a reply arrived. Mrs. Davis responded with warmth and understanding. "Oh yes, Tanner," she wrote. "He and Miles have become quite the pair. They do share a special bond. I'm so glad Miles considers him his twin. It's truly heartwarming. Tanner's mother is Lindra Watts. I've included her email address below. I'm sure she'd be happy to coordinate with you for twin day." Britney felt a wave of relief wash over her. Tanner was real, and Mrs. Davis's words about their special bond eased her earlier anxieties. She immediately drafted an email to Lindra. Britney's email to Lindra was a little hesitant at first. She explained the situation, emphasizing Miles's unwavering belief that he and Tanner were twins. She included a photo of Miles, just in case. Lindra's reply was quick and full of laughter. "Oh my goodness, this is adorable," she wrote. "Yes, Tanner has been talking about Miles nonstop. He told me all about twin day and how they have to match. I'm absolutely on board. Let's make this happen." Lindra included a photo of Tanner, and Britney could finally see the boy Miles had been so excited about. She could see how, in the innocent mind of a child, their shared enthusiasm and burgeoning friendship made them feel like twins, despite their obvious physical differences. Linda added a little more context in her response. They're a relatively new family to the area and school, and Tanner had been a little bit shy about making friends. His friendship with Miles had really helped Tanner open up. With Twin Day fast approaching, Britney found herself on a last-minute shopping trip to Walmart. It was late, the store was crowded, but Britney was on a mission. She needed 2 identical outfits. She navigated the aisles, searching for the perfect plaid button-up shirts and khaki pants. She finally found the shirts, but the pants were proving to be a challenge. Miles was a bit taller than average, and Tanner, judging by the photo, was a little smaller. She spent extra time hunting for the right sizes, imagining the 2 boys standing side by side, beaming with pride. She smiled to herself, thinking about how such a simple act, matching outfits, could mean so much to 2 young friends. She grabbed 2 small belts too, just to make certain the pants will fit. The morning of Twin Day was a flurry of excitement. Miles bounced out of bed, eager to get to school and see Tanner. He carefully carried Tanner's outfit, neatly folded in a bag. At school, the classroom buzzed with anticipation. Children were dressed in matching outfits, giggling and comparing their costumes. When Miles found Tanner, their faces lit up. They quickly changed into their matching plaid shirts and khaki pants, the small belts ensuring a perfect fit. They stood side by side, grinning at each other, and then at their reflections in the classroom window. Other children gathered around, marveling at their twinness. Mrs. Davis, beaming, snapped a photo. "You 2 look fantastic," she exclaimed. "You really do look like twins." The other children agreed. "Wow, you do look alike," one exclaimed. Another chimed in, "It's like magic." Miles and Tanner, oblivious to the comments about their different skin tones, simply saw their shared smiles, their matching outfits, and their undeniable bond. Later that afternoon, Britney's phone buzzed with a notification. It was a message from Mrs. Davis, containing the photo of Miles and Tanner. Britney opened the image, and her breath caught in her throat. There they were, 2 boys, standing shoulder to shoulder, their smiles radiating pure joy. One boy had light skin and brown hair, neatly parted. The other had dark skin and a crown of tight, dark curls. The contrast was striking, yet it was completely overshadowed by the shared happiness in their eyes. Tears welled up in Britney's eyes. She felt a profound sense of gratitude and wonder. Miles hadn't seen the differences. He had only seen a friend, a kindred spirit, someone who, in his heart, was truly his twin. She immediately forwarded the photo to her husband, her parents, and a few close friends. The responses poured in. "That's amazing. So heartwarming. What a beautiful lesson in friendship." Twin Day marked the beginning of an even deeper friendship between Miles and Tanner. They became inseparable, spending countless hours playing together after school, sharing secrets, and building elaborate Lego creations. They discovered shared interests in superheroes, dinosaurs, and drawing. They continued to refer to each other as twins, even when not dressed alike. It became their special term of endearment, a testament to their unique connection. They started to learn about each other. Tanner told Miles all about his favorite superhero, and Miles shared his drawings with Tanner. Britney and Linda, brought together by their son's friendship, quickly became friends themselves. They started arranging playdates, sharing parenting tips, and even organizing weekend picnics together. The 2 families celebrated birthdays and holidays together, creating a blended community of support and friendship. They learned from each other, sharing stories about their different backgrounds and experiences. The bond between the 2 families mirrored the bond between their sons, proving that connection and understanding can blossom in the most unexpected places. Linda shared some of her family's favorite foods, and Britney would try new recipes to share in return. Britney often reflected on the simple yet profound lesson she had learned from Miles and Tanner. Children, with their unblemished hearts, see the world differently. They see the connections, the shared joys, the similarities that truly matter. We, as adults, could learn so much from their innocent wisdom. Their friendship serves as a gentle and powerful reminder to choose kindness, to celebrate connection, and to look beyond surface differences. The world would be a much brighter place if we all looked at it through the eyes of child.